What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello, welcome to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi this beautiful Monday evening. We started a series on strategies for preventing and reversing arthritis. And during episode 1, we talked about the fact that arthritis is the name given to a group of more than 100 different conditions affecting the musculoskeletal system in the body. And then we also looked at 9 different types of arthritis among the over 100. So today we'll be continuing that conversation by looking at the causes of arthritis. Of course, most forms of arthritis are said to have no known causes. In other words, medically speaking, they say etiology unknown. Arthritis just happens, we don't know what causes it. But then, of course, things like age play a critical role, particularly in degenerative arthritis. That is osteoarthritis. And then heredity or genetics is said to have a little role to play also in the causation of arthritis. Geneticists have told us that approximately 25% of our genes are automatically expressed, whether or not we do something. But the remaining 75% of our genes only find expression when triggered. In other words, there have to be certain triggers that would trigger their expression. Thankfully, only 1/4 of our genes will express whether or not there is a trigger. But 3/4 will need to be triggered. All right, so even though genetics may play a role, heredity may play a role in the development of arthritis, it may run in certain families, yet there are triggers that trigger them. It doesn't mean that simply because arthritis runs in your family, therefore you must automatically develop arthritis. That is not the case, thankfully. If you understand the triggers and you are able to mitigate them, and you are cautious in the way you prosecute your life, you do your life, particularly in relation to your diet, your lifestyle, your weight management, then arthritis may never happen in the course of your lifetime. For me, that's good news. So when it comes to old age, yes, even though old age may also contribute to degenerative arthritis, yet we know that old age is not entirely to blame for arthritis. After all, age is not toxic. We all pray to grow old, all right? Even God promises us long life, okay? And if long life were a curse, God will not be promising us a curse. Long life is a blessing, and it shouldn't be riddled with pain and discomfort simply because we are into our 70s and 80s and 90s. We can still live even into our hundreds. 100, 110, 120, without pain and discomfort. I personally believe that diet and lifestyle contribute somewhere in the region of 90% to the development of arthritis. So if there's anything to blame for arthritis, I would say 90% of the time, our diet and our lifestyle are to blame. And I will explain what I mean by that. Let's start with inorganic calcium, typically coming from hard water, untreated water, sometimes even from pasteurized cow's milk. This inorganic calcium can accumulate at our joints and cause inflammation, and that can lead to arthritis. Many people drink cow milk for calcium. What they don't understand is that the milk in pasteurized cow milk is not all that bioavailable. If you take human breast milk, for example, the amount of calcium in human breast milk is not as much as the amount of calcium you find in cow milk, pasteurized cow milk. But if you give the same quantity of human breast milk to a baby and cow milk, the same amount to a baby of cow milk to a baby, you find out that the baby will absorb the the calcium in the human breast milk much more than the calcium in the pasteurized cow milk. So even though the amount of calcium in the pasteurized cow milk is higher, yet it is not very bioavailable. In other words, the body does not absorb it properly. So when these things are just circulating around and they are just dumped in locations in the body, they cause all kinds of calcifications and they create problems for us. I also believe that improper diet and lifestyle may lead to autoimmune disorder, causing arthritis, because our immune system goes berserk when we don't prime our body properly with the appropriate diet. Once you make your immune system to go insane and go crazy, then it begins to attack different parts of the body, and that can create different kinds of problems, including autoimmune arthritis in the form of rheumatoid arthritis or lupus. Inappropriate diet can also lead to gluttony. People who overeat, people who consume junk foods, people who consume fast foods, who take a lot of refined sugar and soda pop and what have you, people who live lifestyles that are, sedentary, lack of physical exercise, people who use alcohol and what have you. All of these, situations can actually create an overweight or obese person. If you are gluttonous, you consume too much food, too much calories. You consume junk foods, fast foods, sugar, soft drinks, alcohol. Okay, a lot of pastries, foodless foods I call them, that can make you gain excessive weight in your body. And once you become overweight and obese, you are setting yourself up for arthritis, because one of the things that serve as risk factors for the development of certain types of arthritis is when you are obese and overweight, because then your joints will be bearing too much load than what they are designed to carry. And once your legs, your ankle, your knees are bearing too much weight because you're obese, because you're overweight, of course, it's a matter of time before they begin to complain. Then excessive animal protein intake can also lead to excessive uric acid crystals accumulating in the joints in particular, and that can lead to gouty arthritis. Of course, I've mentioned sedentary lifestyle. When you're sedentary, you don't exercise, particularly flexibility exercises, stretching exercises. I've mentioned again and again that there are three major categories of exercises. We have aerobic exercises where your heart beats, rapidly into the aerobic zone and sustains there for at least 20 to 30 minutes every day. That's aerobic exercise. And then we have strength exercise or weight-bearing exercise, the one that you use to develop muscles and to build strong bones. Okay, those are weight-bearing or strength exercises. And then we have flexibility exercises or stretching exercises. These are exercises you do to improve your range of motion in your joints. Okay, now when you don't exercise, particularly stretching exercises, flexibility exercises, that can lead to stiffness in the joints, and that sets the stage for the development of arthritis. But no matter how arthritis came about in the person, all I want to say today is that there is hope for arthritis sufferers. Don't forget that there are no incurable diseases. There are only incurable people. And incurable people are those who are unwilling and they are not ready to make adjustments and changes as may be necessary to effect their healing and recovery. Apart from divine healing, nutritional treatment, I use the word treatment carefully here, Apart from divine healing, nutritional treatment is the best and perhaps the only true answer to curing or preventing arthritis, in my opinion. So if you are hoping on relying on pills and capsules, tablets, injections, or surgery, or what have you, I'm not against them, but then for me, that does not represent the best approach to dealing with arthritis. Your best approach is what I call the faith and food therapy. Your readiness to change your diet, change your lifestyle. Of course, you can use any medical help, any medical procedure that is compatible, and that would help to build synergy at the end of the day. Now, arthritis can be greatly relieved and reversed simply by ingesting the appropriate kind of fresh fruits, raw vegetables, and fruit juices, regular fasts, warm baths, gentle massage, and what have you. And the juices that you make from vegetables must be freshly extracted, not commercially packaged fruit juices, pasteurized fruit juices, no. Fresh, raw vegetable juices in particular. But then you must also know that there are contraindications when it comes to even the consumption of vegetables and what have you to reverse or prevent arthritis. Now, for those who do not have arthritis, these vegetables can be consumed, as appropriate. The nightshade vegetables, okay? But those who already have arthritis, who have been diagnosed with arthritis, I would suggest that you stay away from the nightshade family of vegetables. Again, you might be wondering, what are nightshade vegetables? This is one of the reasons, I should say, that you need to attend the Rafa Institute of Healthy Living. Because right from module 1, the very first module, we teach you classifications of vegetables, classification of fruits, classification of herbs, nuts, seeds. Okay, there are different classes, different categories, different families of fruits and vegetables. Now, one family, one class of vegetables is what we describe as nightshade vegetables. Now, that will include eggplant or garden eggs, peppers, tomatoes, Irish potatoes. They all belong to the family of nightshade vegetables. Now, some of them I will suggest that you go off them completely if you already have arthritis. If you don't have arthritis, why not? You can eat them, no problem. They have their own health benefits that they confer. But if you already have arthritis, you're already addressing or dealing with arthritis, then it's best for you to avoid some of them, particularly garden egg or maybe Irish potatoes. But maybe you can eat peppers and tomatoes moderately. You may not go off them completely, just moderately. Why is that so? I read some documents that actually suggest that these nightshade vegetables increase the production of prostaglandin E2 in the body. I'm told that there are 8 classes of prostaglandins. Prostaglandin E1, E2, E3, up to E8. Now, E2 is a pro-inflammation prostaglandin. In other words, it helps your body to synthesize a lot of prostaglandin E2 that promotes inflammation. And arthritis is already an inflammatory disease. You don't want anything that will increase inflammation. You don't want to cause hyperinflammation. Instead, you want anti-inflammatory food. In some quarters, they call it anti-inflammatory foods, okay? You want to eat things that are or anti-inflammation. Things like turmeric or curcumin or flaxseed oil, fish oil, cod liver oil, krill oil, hemp seed oil. All of those are anti-inflammation. But nightshade vegetables promote the production of prostaglandin E2, and prostaglandin E2 promotes inflammation. Omega-6 oil also promotes inflammation. So when you want to reverse arthritis, the first thing you have to understand that you have to change your diet, your lifestyle, and then even in the vegetables and fruits that you're supposed to eat in order to reverse your arthritis, there are some of them that are still contraindicated. It's not all fruits and all vegetables that you can consume. Even fish that has omega-3 Many people think that every fish has omega-3. There are some fish that actually have omega-6 rather than omega-3. An example is tilapia. So tilapia will be a no-no for those who are dealing with arthritis and other hyper-inflammatory conditions. You want to eat fish that is high in omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory, not fish that is high in omega-6, which is pro-inflammatory. All right. So that is a foundational thing there, that arthritis is essentially a metabolic condition primarily. Heredity and age also play roles, but the prominent factor that contributes to the development of arthritis is your diet and your lifestyle. And the same prominent factor, diet and lifestyle, will also contribute to the reversal or prevention, as the case may be. All right? I hope this makes sense to you. I will be going on a short break right now, and when we come back, we will start talking about strategies for reversing arthritis for those who already have it. And for those who don't have it, some of the strategies will also help in prevention. Don't go away. I'll be back very shortly. And don't forget that this is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, where we share wellness information for your well-being and for your health improvement and transformation. What we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. We'll be back shortly.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.
Welcome back. This is still Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. We're dealing with strategies for preventing and reversing arthritis. And in this episode, we've looked at causes of arthritis. We've considered hereditary factors. We've considered age, that is aging as a contributing factor to the development of certain types and forms of arthritis. We've also looked at diet and lifestyle. And our conclusion is that diet and lifestyle constitute the major factors in the development of arthritis, whereas age and heredity may also contribute a bit, but the one that contributes the lion's share is our diet and our lifestyle. And we've looked at different aspects of our diet and lifestyle that can cause or aggravate arthritis. Now we want to move on to strategies for addressing arthritis when a person has already been diagnosed with one. I would say that the starting point is to determine the type of arthritis that a person is dealing with. And that would help in coming up with the plan, the treatment plan for that person. For example, if somebody has osteoarthritis, I would be interested in rebuilding and regenerating bones and cartilage and synovial fluid. Of course, you also manage the attendant discomforts, pain management, swelling management, inflammation management, and what have you. But the crux of the matter is to rebuild the worn cartilage, okay, and strengthen the bones. Rebuild the synovial fluid to improve lubrication. If somebody is suffering from gout, I know that I need to do a lot of uric acid cleanse in that person's body. I also need to adjust the person's diet so that they don't build more or generate more uric acid. Okay? So it depends on the type of arthritis that will determine the best approach. But I'll be giving about 14 tips in this strategy, which is very general, 14 of them, on how to confront arthritis, how to deal with arthritis, how to address arthritis. Of course, if somebody is suffering from arthritis, the very first concern is pain. So you want to do pain management. There are different ways to manage pain. I'm not going to go into the full details, but I'll give some tips and some suggestions, some thoughts of mine regarding pain management. Of course, pain management is not arthritis reversal. Pain management is only a palliative measure. If you still recall my 5 steps for reversing or curing diseases, you will know that pain management or palliative treatment is one out of the 5 steps. If somebody has a condition and the person seeks to reverse that condition, there are 5 steps to go through. The first step is to identify what caused the problem and begin to deal with the root cause. That is how to get a lasting and sustainable solution. If you keep managing symptoms and you don't deal with the root cause, that is cosmetic treatment. That's palliative. Okay? The second is to find out what are the things that aggravate this condition. What are the factors that make my symptoms worse? Those are aggravating factors. You also need to deal with those so that you don't keep pouring more fuel into the fire. The third is to now begin to deploy palliatives. Palliatives are treatments to improve quality of life, to reduce pain, to create, stability, to make the person become stable, to be able to function. So if the person has pain, you want to address the pain. You want to administer pain management techniques or painkillers or things like that. If somebody has high BP, you want to crash it so it doesn't lead to certain other complications. High blood sugar, you want to crash it. All those treatments are the third step in the 5-step disease reversal model, and it's called palliative treatment. They don't reverse the disease condition, but they improve the quality of life of the person. They help to stabilize the person. They help to buy time to be able to do the other things to reverse the condition. That's palliative. So pain management in arthritis reversal is only a palliative measure. It does not reverse arthritis, but it helps to reduce pain in the meantime while we are doing other things to help to rebuild the degeneration, to calm the immune system, to improve flexibility and mobility, and all the other derangements to bring them back into normalcy. Okay, now let me just finish the 5 steps in case somebody's interested. Now, so the first one is find the cause. The second one, deal with the aggravating factors. Third one, palliative management. And then the fourth one is the curative treatment. You now begin to deploy tools and remedies that will actually effect the cure that you intended. That's the 4th step. The 5th one now is preventive measure. After the cure has been effected, what should I put in place? What must I institute so that the problem doesn't recur, so it doesn't come back, so I don't recreate the problem? That's preventive measure. So find the cause, find the aggravating factors, apply palliative treatment, apply curative treatment, and then preventive measures. Now, so when it comes to arthritis, if we apply this model, which I developed, my disease reversal process or my disease reversal model, 5-step process. Now, if we apply that to arthritis, let's start with the palliative this time. Because somebody who has arthritis and is going through pain is not going to be suffering through that pain while you are trying to find out the cause of the problem or the aggravating factors. The person wants relief from the pain first. After the pain has gone down, now begin to talk to me about how to get rid of this arthritis once and for all. So that's why I'm starting with the pain management, because it is the first important thing to the sufferer. All right? So, like I said, there are so many ways to manage pain, whether in an allopathic medical model or in alternative medical model. There are different ways. In alternative medicine, they use things like acupuncture, acupressure, and various other modalities here and there for pain management. In conventional medical practice, they use painkillers essentially, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory diseases, analgesics, and powerful painkillers to numb the nerves that communicate pain to the brain so that the brain doesn't get those signals of pain anymore. All right? That in itself may have its benefits, its merits, but it also has its demerits, in that pain is actually a blessing in disguise. Pain is what gives you the signal that something is wrong in that part of your body. So when you feel pain somewhere, either on the knee or on the fingers or any part of the body is telling you something is wrong here, begging for your attention. So by merely numbing the pain and taking it away without addressing what gave rise to the pain continues to allow further degeneration. So if all you're doing is pain management, then you are degenerating further. You're allowing wear and tear, damage to keep on going. Because pain is what makes you to be gentle with that part of the body so you don't cause further damage. But then pain is not something you want to live with, something you want to address. Okay, pain, I've heard you. I've heard your alarm. Now you can go away and I'll take care of what is causing the pain. All right? Now, there are many things among, natural health practitioners that are deployed for pain management. Things like Anica montana, all right, MSM, which is essentially organic sulfur, so to speak, and other deep rub creams, eucalyptus oil cream, aloe vera gels, and different kinds of things, root beer oil. There's a particular oil called Mixture of Wonder ointment. Yeah, these are all products that are out there that can be applied. Even DMSO, to massage the location to improve pain or to reduce pain. Now, there is a particular pain spray that I make. I call it Let Us Spray. Let Us Spray. And when I say it fast, let us spray, it sounds as if I'm saying, let us pray. But it's actually not let us pray. It is let us spray. Let us spray. So I make the concoction and you put it in the spray bottle and you can spray it on the location where you are feeling the pain, and it helps in reducing pain. Like I said, it does not reverse arthritis. It doesn't cure arthritis, but it helps to reduce pain. It's for pain management while you are doing something else, which I will be mentioning, to actually reverse arthritis or rebuild the body that is undergoing degeneration. So now, how do we make this spray? Let us spray. The ingredient lists are as follows: aloe vera juice, vitamin C powder, MSM powder, sage oil, eucalyptus oil, miracle oil, and then you need a spray bottle, and then a glass bottle to store the bulk. You only put a little into the spray bottle whenever you want to spray, because the spray bottle is typically plastic. But if you have a glass spray bottle, then that's fine. But then the plastic, the straw that goes into the oil is still plastic. So it's better you store the bulk in your glass jar and just refrigerate. And then when you need it, you can then pour into a small spray bottle and spray on the painful joints. Now, so the aloe vera juice is about 16 ounces, all right? Vitamin C powder, about 1,600 milligrams. MSM powder must be pure MSM, 99.9% pure. You need 3 grams of that. That's about 3,000 milligrams. And then sage oil, a 1/4 teaspoon. Eucalyptus oil, a 1/4 teaspoon. And then there's a mixture of oil that is called miracle oil. You can actually find that. I normally buy mine on Amazon.com. Miracle oil is a blend of about 7 different oils, essential oils. Okay, you need 2 teaspoons of that, and then a spray bottle. Now, how do you go about making lettuce spray? You mix the MSM powder and the vitamin C powder first. The two of them are in powder or crystals, so you mix them together first. And then you now add the aloe vera juice, okay? Your aloe vera juice must be plain aloe vera juice, not the aloe vera gel. Don't use the gel, use the juice. That is almost like water. And then you add the juice to the MSM and vitamin C mixture and continue to stir thoroughly until all the crystals of the MSM and the vitamin C get dissolved in the aloe vera juice. Now, you don't pour the aloe vera juice first into the bowl and then begin to add the MSM powder and the vitamin C powder to it. It will become clumpy. It will clump. You first of all mix the powders, the two powders, MSM powder, vitamin C powder, mix it first, and then you start adding the liquid aloe vera juice, and then you stir, okay? And everything then dissolves properly. After it has dissolved well, you now add sage oil, eucalyptus oil, and the miracle oil, and then you mix it in very well. And then you store the mixture in a dark glass container. Now, if you store it in a plastic container, it will eventually eat away at the plastic. So if you store it in a glass container, then it must be dark. It must be opaque. It must not be transparent glass, because light can ruin the potency of that mixture. So you get the point. It must be a glass jar. It must be dark, either amber or green or any dark glass that is not transparent. That's what you use to store the mixture. So whenever you transfer the mixture into another container, make sure you stir it vigorously immediately before you pour. Shake it very well to mix very well, because some things can settle at the bottom. So before you use, you mix very well. And failure to do this can easily result in making a weak solution, since the oils tend to separate from the aloe vera juice. So you have to mix very well. And always shake the solution immediately before use. Once you shake, you can then pour a bit of it into your spray bottle, and then you can spray. So you put the solution into a 2-ounce plastic spray bottle. Be sure to stir vigorously, like I said, prior to pouring it into the spray bottle. It takes a few months before the plastic gets distorted by the mixture in the spray bottle. So keep your main supply in the dark glass bottle and then pour little by little, and you can spray. Again, it is only for pain relief. It does not cure arthritis. It's just for pain relief. Now, if there's one drawback to this spray solution, it is that it can stain your clothes. Okay, so you massage it in properly and let it dry before you begin to put on your clothes, so that your clothes don't make contact with it. And it takes only 1 or 2 minutes for it to really soak into your clothes and get dried. Now, you know why I like using this particular strategy for pain management? Or you simply buy root beer oil. Root beer oil also has DMSO and I think MSM and a few other things inside there. That's ready-made. You just buy it and apply it and rub it and massage it in, and it helps to relieve pain. Why I prefer this option is that I read about some studies from certain universities in the United Kingdom that says that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and several other analgesics and painkillers that are administered to people suffering from arthritis, that those painkillers actually block the pathway for cartilage regeneration. In other words, when your body is attempting to repair, there is wear and tear, particularly of cartilage and bone. And your body, when you begin to supply your body with all the building blocks, all the nutritional factors for your body to rebuild, and your body is making the effort to rebuild and to regenerate, but then you are taking these painkillers, pharmaceutical painkillers. That study showed that the pharmaceutical painkillers sometimes block the pathways for cartilage regeneration and bone regeneration. And so why would you be taking something that would be blocking your repair pathways if you ever want to get out of the woods? So that's why I choose alternative pain relieving methods rather than using analgesics and NSAIDs, so that as we are attempting to rebuild, we will not be working at cross purposes and reversing the very process that we want to institute. I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make. So the type of pain management method that you use in managing your arthritis pain is very critical. It's important in whether or not it will permit your body to regenerate. If you take certain painkillers that will not allow cartilage regeneration, that will not allow bone regeneration, then you are damaging yourself further. You continue to degenerate and degenerate and degenerate until maybe surgery will be indicated, or maybe sometimes even more serious situations. Okay, so the first strategy out of the 14 things to do in reversing arthritis is to start with pain management. So the individual at least can have some relief and have a better or improved quality of life before we now begin to say, okay, how do we then rebuild the damages that have happened in the body? Or how do we calm down the immune system that is launching an attack against the body? The second strategy out of my 14 steps is to address hyperinflammation. Address hyperinflammation. Now, inflammation is one of the 3 big causes of aches and pain. Keep in mind that inflammation is actually healthy in small amounts, all right? But when you scratch your skin, for example, the body sends extra blood to that area. It looks like a little red, an inflamed, part of the skin. But that inflammation actually promotes healing. So unnecessary or excess inflammation is another story altogether. That's the one that we're talking about. Excess inflammation or hyperinflammation. That's what leads to disease. And so in reversing arthritis, you have to deploy anti-inflammatory agents, or some people call anti-inflammatory agents. Things like turmeric, the active ingredient is curcumin or curcuminoids. And then aceberry, quercetin. Quercetin is abundant in onions and garlic and what have you. Sea cucumber. And then there is this cactus fruit that is called nopalea, which is very, very high in anti-inflammatory agents. Then omega-3 oil, like flax oil, Udo's perfected oil blend, krill oil, fish oil, hemp seed oil, cod liver oil. All of these are omega-3 oil, sardine oil. They help in reducing inflammation. And then proteolytic enzymes. Proteolytic enzymes, by the way, are protein digesting enzymes. They have very powerful anti-inflammatory properties, such as serrapeptase, bromelain, papain, serrazymes, serraflamed. These are all different forms of proteolytic or protein digesting enzymes. They can be administered on an empty stomach. Note that if you are using proteolytic enzymes as an anti-inflammatory agent or for whatever purpose, make sure you take them on an empty stomach. You know why? Because they are enzymes. And if there's food in your stomach, protein in your stomach, once you take the proteolytic enzyme, they will just sit down in the stomach to digest the protein in your stomach. And they will not go elsewhere to do any other job. All right? But if you take them on an empty stomach, when there's no food, no protein in your stomach, then they are absorbed into your bloodstream. And so they are able to circulate around your whole body, and they can then either remove plaque from your blood vessel or they tame inflammation. They cause, swellings to reduce. Proteolytic enzyme, bromelain from pineapple, papain from pawpaw, and then serrapeptase, serrazymes. All of them are proteolytic enzymes. And of course, you have to avoid foods and oils in particular that cause excess inflammation, like omega-6 oils. And so I would suggest you avoid tilapia fish, because tilapia fish is very high in omega-6 oil rather than omega-3 oil. So avoid tilapia, avoid all forms of omega-6 oils like corn oil and what have you. You have to check, if you don't know, if you're not sure, any oil you want to use in your cooking, in your culinary activities, go online and check, is this a pro-inflammatory oil or an anti-inflammatory oil? And that helps you to know which oils to use. Now, I will recommend that you use things like olive oil, things like flaxseed oil, things like coconut oil, red palm oil, palm kernel oil. Yeah, some of them are saturated oil, quite all right, but they are medium chain saturated oils. Okay, some are afraid of cholesterol. They don't increase your cholesterol. No, they don't. Medium chain saturated fats don't. So like coconut oil and what have you, red palm oil, no, they don't. Flaxseed oil, anti-inflammatory. So check your food to be sure that they are anti-inflammatory before you go ahead to use them. The third strategy for addressing arthritis is to prevent further degeneration, particularly bone degeneration and cartilage degeneration. All right, so you have to address the processes of osteopenia and osteoporosis. That is loss of bone density, because that can be part and parcel of certain phases of life, particularly in women during perimenopause and menopause. There is a very high tendency for bone degeneration and cartilage degeneration called osteoporosis, right? Because when a woman is going through menopause, maybe one of these days we start addressing menopause again. There are perimenopausal symptoms or menopausal symptoms, and they can be categorized into about 6 different categories. All the symptoms that characterize a woman's life during perimenopause and menopause can be classified into 6 categories. We'll deal with them in greater details maybe one of these days. There's vascular instability, symptoms that relate to vascular instability, symptoms that relate to urogenital atrophy, okay? Symptoms that relate to the skeleton, the bones, in particular, osteopenia, and the risk of osteoporosis, gradually developing over time, joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, and what have you. The fourth category are skin and soft tissue symptoms, and then psychological symptoms and sexual symptoms. Okay, there are a number of supplements that a woman can deploy during that season of life to address osteopenia and osteoporosis, to prevent bone degeneration, cartilage degeneration, so that you don't degrade into arthritis. And if you already have been diagnosed with one, so you can arrest the downward progression. Okay, things like menopause support, menopause formula, maca, donquai, wild yam cream, balanced woman cream, hormone essentials, and all of those, they actually help in arresting that particular process of osteopenia that can culminate in osteoporosis at the end of the day. Now, the fourth strategy, I think I'll be stopping on this one today because of time, and we'll have 10 more to go hereafter. The fourth strategy for reversing arthritis is now to start rebuilding and strengthening the bone and the cartilage. Now, third strategy is to arrest further degeneration. Don't allow the thing to go downhill anymore. And then the fourth one, I'll start rebuilding up by introducing the building blocks, things like minerals like calcium, magnesium, potassium, very, very important. And then vitamins like vitamin D3, vitamin K2, trace minerals like strontium, like boron, and what have you. All of these can come in single products that have all of them together in one place. So all of that helps in rebuilding and strengthening the bones. And then, of course, we'll be talking about how to strengthen the cartilage later. But so don't forget these 4 strategies that we have talked about today as your strategy for addressing, that is either reversing or preventing arthritis. The first one is to make sure that you are dealing with the pain that the person is going through. The second one is to reduce hyperinflammation by taking anti-inflammatory food and avoiding pro-inflammatory food. And then the third one is to make sure you prevent further degeneration. And then the fourth one is begin to introduce building blocks to help to rebuild the person's bone and strengthen the person's bone. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, strontium, boron, and what have you. All of them are key building blocks in helping the body to rebuild. Our time is up for today. I hope it's been an interesting evening on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. And when you are informed, your life can be transformed. But when you are uninformed, you can actually become deformed. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, once again, let me remind you to please click on the subscribe button on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Also share this video with your friends and family and maybe your enemies so they can become your friends. Thank you for spending your beautiful Monday evening with us on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. See you same time, same platform next week on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Do have a beautiful week ahead and God bless you tremendously. Bye. Love you.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.